Wednesday, December 20th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. A lot of ground to cover once again this morning, so let's get right into it. Late during the 5 o'clock hour, there's the Greensboro Tower camera. Some light rain spreading in, very mild temperatures this morning, 57 there at the PTI Airport. We'll take a peek at the Charlotte Dowd YMCA camera. Clouds, some rain arriving. Temperatures, again, very mild as we start the day in the 50s. What a warm day yesterday. Gorgeous December day with highs well into the 70s, even pushing 80 down in portions of South Carolina around the Triad viewing area. Every observing site 70 or better. That is pretty difficult to do during the month of December. Charlotte viewing area very similar, upper 50s in the mountains, but then low to mid 70s all across the Piedmont zones. This morning, mild. But what we're seeing now is basically our high temperatures for the day. We will have steady or falling temperatures over most of at least North Carolina as rain settles into the region. So there's the radar early this morning. That rain feeding in from Tennessee. It's been a night of pretty steady rain over much of Tennessee, down into North Alabama and Mississippi. Even some severe weather early this morning in the parts of Louisiana. A couple severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warning as well. Now down there into Louisiana as the day began. That's in the very unstable and at least somewhat unstable and warm air on the south side of that low pressure that's sitting over Arkansas. So that low moves through and impacts the Carolinas today. Here's our weekend storm system. More on that in just a bit. So there you go. Rain feeding through the region today on Futurecast, and then we await that next cold front to begin to fire up as we get toward Friday and the weekend. Today, still in the milder setup, but temperatures will be held down due to the clouds and rain. Here's the big push of cold air, the first in a series of blasts of cold air gearing up and beginning to head into the really central and eastern part of the country as a whole as a major pattern change is getting set to occur. All right, so today, rain across the region, even maybe some rumbles of thunder down into South Carolina. And rain amounts look like this. There's the big view across the viewing area, I should say the Carolinas rather. The idea is that I think that North and South Carolina border region right near that front, that's where your heaviest rain totals will be. There might be a couple of 2-inch bullseyes in that part of the region. We'll go to the European model, same basic distribution of rain. And then finally, there's the GFS. So I think up toward I-40, a half to 1 inch, could approach 2 inches there to the North and South Carolina border region. Now, tomorrow looks cool and quiet. Northeasterly flow around the region. There's our Thursday afternoon high temperatures. Friday, most of us still ahead of that next cold front, although some showers a possibility certainly by Friday afternoon in the mountains. Friday's highs a little bit milder. Still some timing differences over the weekend. I'll show you that in just a second in detail, but here's the basic idea from the European model. Saturday, some showers becoming possible, especially later Saturday, and then lingering at least into part of Christmas Eve, but that front's then out of the way in time for a pretty quiet Christmas day, although I do think the mountains pick up some snow and could be a pretty decent snow event from the mid-Atlantic up through the northeastern part of the country. There's your high temperatures there on Christmas Day. And notice the temperature trend. Here's Greensboro, for instance, as we get toward next week. Temperatures really trending down. So here's the deal. We'll take a look at the setup. And 500 millibars. I'll show you this first. Here's today's storm system moving through on the European. We go out to Saturday rather. This is the Saturday system approaching. And there it is moving through by Sunday night. And then we get out to next week. The European brings another system in by Thursday or Thursday night. It's about a day slower on the GFS, on the 0Z run. I'll show you that in just a second. So let's talk about the weekend first, and then we'll talk about the longer range. Here's the GFS computer model. This is valid Saturday evening, that cold front. Quickest on this particular model, moving in with some rain Saturday and then departing by Christmas Eve. So the GFS for a lot of the Piedmont is actually rain-free Christmas Eve, and then cold and dry for Christmas Day. The European model and the Canadian too, for that matter. By the way, there's the Canadian. I'll get back to that. That's later next week. Stand by. The European model here. Here we go. If I find it. There we go. This is, this is it for Sunday evening. So a little slower with that frontal progression through the region, and then it's gone by Christmas Day. So for that reason, I've left rain chances fairly high late Saturday and then lingering into Christmas Eve, but we'll have to nail that timing down still a little bit further. Later next week, now this is the chart you kind of got a sneak peek of a second ago. This is the European model for Thursday morning as that next storm system approaches. Some lingering cold air that could produce some winter precipitation somewhere in the region if that precip gets in quick enough. And the GFS has that idea too. It's just a day slower. So this is Friday evening on the GFS and then out to Saturday. So a quick shot of wintry precipitation to rain is what's being indicated verbatim. And look at that, another deep lower Mississippi Valley and Tennessee Valley winter weather event on that particular model. Now, do not take any of this I'm showing you as absolute truth by any means. The basic idea, though, is I think late next week another storm system will approach, and we'll have to see what temperatures are looking like at that point in time. We are definitely transitioning back to a colder pattern, though. This is Christmas Day. 5,000-foot deviations from normal on the European ensemble. So there's your cold pattern, and it's going to stick around. This is out at Friday the 29th. Pattern relaxes. That's when that storm system moves through, and then the cold pattern buckles back in thereafter. So this is New Year's, actually the day before New Year's Eve, so the 30th, and then all the way out to January 3rd. That's a cold pattern for the eastern two-thirds of the country. Canadian model is in agreement. This is out next week, that cold pattern moving on in. So the bottom line is, first of all, if you want winter weather, you got to get cold air. This is the GFS ensemble, and notice once the pattern flips right at Christmas, below average temperatures throughout the rest of the model run. Then it goes out to the 4th of January. Speaking of the GFS ensemble, more and more of these ensemble members, this is Charlotte, for instance, indicating snow. That's what all these are individual ensemble members indicating, some of them indicating snow. And this is the snowiest GFS ensemble mean there's been in a while. Let's see if I can resize that for you. There you go. That's the ensemble mean snow totals there through January 4th. And you see that there's a lot of snow being put down in parts of the region. Finally, this is for Charlotte, just as a for instance. This is the European ensemble snowfall numbers. There's your individual ensemble members, some with no snow, some with a lot of snow. And the ensemble mean for Charlotte up over an inch in the longer range in terms of snow amounts. So what does that mean? Well, we're heading into a colder pattern for sure. And if you've been watching this for a while, I think we are heading into a pattern that's going to favor the chance for a cold air damming event or two in the days following Christmas and into early January. And we will just have to see if we can get everything to line up for you snow fans or ice fans. But the potential is there. I think it's a pattern that's loaded with at least potential late month and into early January. We will see. That is it for the latest edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.